What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and it is Thursday. It is October 4th. It is about 11:03 a.m. Pacific time. I am a little bit late off the draw as well again today. And Tezrim back in the mix with his gentleman. And then Fluke is right there with the gentle peeps. Yeah, gentle peeps, gentle men, gentle females, gentle of every variety. Crunchy is here. What's up, Crunchy? T-Dub, Paradise, Noah, Chebby, Phil Yarn, and Phil Yarn says too much Astrobots. So Phil, are you saying you've played too much Astrobots this last evening maybe? Or I'm just talking too much Astrobots all the time? Guess what, guys? Check this out. I did not play Astrobots, so no big shocking Astrobot stuff. Oh, you know what? If you're talking about the thumbnail image there, if you're talking about the thumbnail image, like for example, if you go to my YouTube channel right now, it's showing that same thumbnail image that I had yesterday where it's like this robot and it's got my head there, right? So I screwed something up, man, and I don't know how to fix this. So check this out. If I go to like my my dashboard, well, it's showing me live right now, but what happened is one time I decided to change my thumbnail from whatever it normally was way before, and I made this custom thumbnail for my episode that was about to start. And oh, this was for Oculus Connect 5. I did this for Oculus Connect 5, right? And so I went ahead and changed it, and it was kind of cool. So if somebody went to the website and they were checking out the live stream, they saw this nice new thumbnail of Oculus Connect 5 and all of that. And so that's kind of cool, right? But then what happened is now there's always a thumbnail that is set there, and I can't get it back to like a regular thumbnail. I haven't made like just a regular miscellaneous thumbnail. And so yesterday I created that quick Astrobot thumbnail real quick with my head on the guy's hand. Today I had no time to do a thumbnail, so it's the same freaking thing. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. I need some kind of like standardized thumbnail that I can possibly work with here. So if that's what you're talking about, I didn't mean to do that. I don't mean to be running this again today. Just, I've been screwing around with, I don't use Photoshop. I use this program called Gimp. Gimp 2.0, I believe is what I'm using. And I've started to learn how to screw around with Gimp a little bit here and a little bit there. Paradise Decay says, after watching Anthony hyperventilate over Astrobot, I finally picked up a PSVR today and the game. Wow, it's a VR game changer. Well, Paradise, you know what you could have did? You could have took a little bit of my advice. Remember my advice was find somebody that you know that has a PlayStation VR and say, bro, I'm going to come over. I'm going to bring a 6-pack of your favorite beer. I'm going to bring a pizza, and you're going to put me in Astrobot for a half an hour. That's all you got to do. You didn't have to buy yourself an entire PlayStation VR. Now Paradise Decay has opened up an entire basket of worms, a barrel of worms, whatever you want to call it, a giant swimming pool full of worms, because Paradise, now you got to cover everything PSVR. So you have about 300 games that you got to start doing coverage for. So good luck with that. Yeah, and Crunchy says Gimp is great. Jason H says bring out the Gimp. Yeah, Gimp works pretty well. I don't know anything about Photoshop, and I am a straight noob when it comes to all of this stuff. But one of the things that I do need to know about, or one of the things where I need to improve on, is like my YouTube thumbnails and all of that. They've always been garbage. Let's just be honest. My YouTube thumbnails, my logos, everything has been garbage because I am not that kind of an artistical guy from that kind of a standpoint. I might be creative and artistic in some other ways, but not in that way. I'm not good. I'm not an artist. I can't draw worth a damn. And so I'm slowly but surely trying to learn this stuff. And so Gimp is what I've been learning with. And the one thing I have learned how to do is I've learned how to take an image of myself and make all the background perfectly transparent. And so now I can have these super goofy cutouts where it's like, you know, me doing some kind of super dumb thing, right? And then just put me on a background, and then VR Game Rankings up at the top until we have our new logo. Yeah, we're going to have a new logo, guys. Greg's VR says that logo, though, bro, that logo, it's not working out here. And Jim Hall says, I don't like Gimp. Photoshop since version 1. Well, hey, I have no problem with Photoshop. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars for Photoshop. So Gimp was this free program, and I've learned how to screw around in Gimp to a little degree, and I've learned how to do some basic things in Gimp. The one thing that I really do need to improve, I need to figure out, here's what I need to figure out, guys, is the font. Like, what font am I going to use with my YouTube thumbnails to be like episode 217, man? You know, what am I going to use as my font? I have no idea what kind of font to use. I'm using a crappy font right now. Sometimes I change the font every other time. I don't even, yeah, this is straight up shit show, guys. Like, straight up, today is a shit show. If you guys were hoping for a well-orchestrated show today, you might as well bounce over to MRTV, Sweeviver, Paradise, Virtual Reality Oasis, any of the other options, because this is not going to be the way to go. Okay, so Greg's VR is saying, bro, go with the impact font. The impact font is like super popular, right? I'm gonna go ahead and write this down. I'm actually gonna take a note. Impact font. Okay, impact font. I'm gonna take some notes because you know what? You know, one of the problems with doing this show, so much good shit happens over here on this sidebar in chat, and 80% of it I never read. I'm not ignoring your guys' comments. Trust me, I am not ignoring some of your comments there. There are some great comments from Fluke, from Paradise, from all kinds of people that I never end up seeing, and sometimes I see some of these comments much, much later, and I'm like, oh, that was a good comment. I should have commented on that, but I wasn't paying attention to it at the time. Chris Gold says, Anthony, just give me a shout if you need help with graphics. I do need help with graphics. And then Jim Hall says, a bold sans serif font. Okay, let me write this down. Bold sans serif. I'll check them out. I'll give them a try. But I do have a new logo. See, I do have a new logo for the name of our new channel, and I have a new logo for VR Game Rankings. It hasn't been like 100% totally finalized. I thought this would all have been finalized by now. I can't believe it hasn't been finalized. It's going on in the background there. But we're moving to a new channel, a new logo, and I was going to make new thumbnails and everything. I've kind of been incorporating some of that a little bit, like screwing around with some of these thumbnails and stuff. So I've been screwing around with that. It'll eventually get better. Stay with me, work with me. Things will get better is kind of my theory on all of that. But today is a shit show like none other. Okay, so do I have a topic today at all? No, I don't. I don't have, well, no, actually, wait a minute. I have one topic to get into. So I have one topic that is lined up, and that topic is Smash Hit Plunder. Okay, so I believe that the embargo is over with on Smash Hit Plunder. Now, I believe this game comes out tomorrow in Europe. There is no USA release. I love the music. Listen to this music. Let's jam out to this music for a second. I like this music. It's kind of retro style, you know, kind of like a compound, like bum, bum, bum. I like this music. But yeah, this comes out January 15th. I'm looking at somebody in chat talking about January. That's Ace Combat 7. Okay, no, this comes out October 5th. It comes out tomorrow on Friday in the UK. So my UK homies, you guys can pick up Smash Hit Plunder if you want to tomorrow. Now, here's what I don't know. I don't know how much this thing is going to cost. And let me see if I can look it up somehow. Let me see if I can look up Smash Hit Plunder. I would have to look at the UK PlayStation Store, because I don't know when this is coming to the USA PlayStation Store, but I've played this a little bit. I've played this a handful of times, and I do have some takes on it. So we can get into that because this is coming out tomorrow. And so it's kind of a topical thing. Okay, so let's see. Smash Hit Plunder. Yeah, can anybody check, like you guys that are in the UK, can somebody check and see how much this is in pounds? I would think we would have a price on it, right? Because it's coming out tomorrow. Because I don't know what the price is. And I think the price is going to have a pretty major bearing on how I feel about Smash Hit Plunder. Because I think if it's extremely affordable, like $9.99 or less, I'm more positive on it than if it's like $19.99. I'm not quite as positive on it. Chris Gould says, looks boring as hell. I watched a playthrough and wanted to kill myself after 2 minutes. Okay, so let me tell you what I think about Smash Hit Plunder. So the reason I was into this game, the reason I was hyped on Smash Hit Plunder in the first damn place, is 100% because of the pedigree of the developer. The developer is Triangular Pixels. And those of you that don't know who the hell Triangular Pixels is, back in April of 2016, when I first got my Vive, see that box right there? That box arrived, that actual box arrived in April of 2016. It was my very first VR headset. I knew diddly about VR, and I was super hyped about getting into VR. And so I got that Vive, and one of the first games I played on my HTC Vive in April and May was a game called Unseen Diplomacy. And Unseen Diplomacy is such a cool game because it really shows you this room scale thing. Now, it's not much of a game. I mean, the thing only lasts like 15, 20 minutes or whatever if you run through it. But it gives you the idea. It gives you the concept of how you can do. Can't find it on Steam. Okay, well, Smash Hit Plunder is not on Steam. Smash Hit Plunder is a PlayStation VR exclusive. At least it's a timed exclusive. Holy shit. Holy shit, Paradise, are you serious? Smash Hit Plunder is 25 bucks, 25 pounds? Smash Hit Plunder is 25 pounds. Chebby says you sold your Vive without the box. Yeah, I sold my Vive. I parted it out piece by piece by piece. It's a long story, but I still have the box, and the box is for sale. If somebody wants it, that box is for sale. 25 quid. Okay, 25 quid for Smash Hit Plunder. Dude, my apologies to Triangular Pixels, but nah, man, you should have priced this at like 10 pounds. This really should be 10 pounds, 7 pounds, 8 pounds, something like that. Then I can kind of get behind this. Now, so anyway, let me get back to my story here. So the reason why I was interested in Smash Hit Plunder is because of Unseen Diplomacy. They made this incredible room scale game, I mean, not incredible, but they made this really cool room scale game, Unseen Diplomacy, that I really liked. You're crawling around on the ground, you're going through these different doors. I can only imagine how cool Unseen Diplomacy would be if I had wireless. Those of you that have HTC Vive wireless capabilities, buy Unseen Diplomacy immediately. In fact, let me look up Unseen Diplomacy on Steam and see what it's. I think it was $3 like way back in the days. Unseen Diplomacy. Now it does require, see, one of the downsides for Unseen Diplomacy is it requires a certain amount of space. You have to have a certain amount of space for it. Okay, let me go to the web browser window. So here's Unseen Diplomacy. See, Triangular Pixels, Unseen Diplomacy, very positive. 143 ratings, very positive. Released way back on April 4th. This was a Vive launch game. $3. $3. You get to crawl around on the ground and you're going through hallways and stuff, and you're physically crawling on your floor. Now, one of the issues here is this is the main issue right here. This VR game requires a play area of at least 4 meters by 3 meters. So tons of people cannot play this game, or if they do it, they're kind of hamstrung by it. They don't get to play it in the full way. But I really was blown away by Unseen Diplomacy, but I was blown away back in April and May of 2016. I would not be blown away today by Unseen Diplomacy. But Triangular Pixels made this, and I was always thinking, what is Triangular Pixels going to do in the future? What are they going to work on in the future? Because I thought this was so cool. I thought it was such a cool idea. I couldn't wait to see what their next game would be. Because what I imagined, these guys basically made like one of the most interesting room scale experiences you can possibly get. And so I thought they were going to double down on that and make another really intense, awesome room scale experience. But no, they went in a completely different direction. They decided to make this like dungeon crawler game called Smash Hit Plunder. And they also made it a PlayStation VR exclusive, which was like a real head scratcher because they're known on the Vive. They're known on the Rift. You know, people know Unseen Diplomacy on PSVR. Nobody in PlayStation land knows anything about Triangular Pixels. There's no pedigree there. So I thought it was kind of bizarre that they did this. But anyway, you know, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, right? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and I'll check out this game, Smash Hit Plunder. So I reached out to them and asked them, you know, could I possibly get a review code? I did get a review code, and I went into this game, and I got to tell you, when you get review codes to games, you're hoping the game is good. You hope the game is good because you don't want to have to get on here and just talk major smack about a game. I mean, I don't enjoy that. I don't look forward to like killing a game or anything like that. And when I first got into this game, I really started to worry about it because I was playing it for a little bit and I was like, this is kind of fun, but oh man, I think this might be the first game that I shit on in a long time. And so that was my very first take on Smash Hit Plunder. That very first time I played it for about 25 minutes, I just didn't get into it, right? So then I played it again last night, and this was the game that I played yesterday. I didn't play Astrobot. I didn't play Twilight Path. I didn't play anything else. The only thing I played was Smash Hit Plunder, and I did give it quite a bit of time. And so I went into it, and I gotta say, I like it, but the price, oh my God, the price needs to get the hell out of Dodge. This should be a $10, $15 game in my personal opinion. Apologies to Triangular Pixels, but I gotta be honest about this. I don't think, this is nowhere near like a 30-pound game or like $30 US. Like, I think they're a little bit out of their element here. And, you know, I understand they spent 2 years on this. They did a lot of work on this. I'll tell you what this game is all about. So you get into these different rooms, and basically you're grabbing shit. You want to use your move controllers. You want to use your 2 move controllers. You're grabbing shit. You're throwing it across the room. You're smashing it up, and you're trying to find the loot inside it, okay? And then the other thing that is going on is there will be these little birds that are flying around, or these little mice that are running across the ground, and they're basically like ghosts, right? They're like these little cartoon ghosts of mice and birds that are kind of flying around. And so you'll grab something, you'll grab like a cup or a pot or a chalice or something, you'll grab it and you throw it, and if you hit the mouse, it'll explode and you'll get a lot of like coins and gold bars and things like that. And so you're trying to get as much loot as possible. And so the way this works is you're basically in these certain rooms, and it's a time stage. And so the idea is, how much plunder can you acquire within this short timed little period segment? And so you'll go through the room, you'll be smashing everything, you're grabbing as much plunder as you can, and let's say you end up with like $325 or whatever it is. I don't know what the currency is in, but let's say you end up with $325. Then you're like, oh man, maybe I could have gotten up to 500. I want to go back in there and do it better this time. So it's kind of like this time trial thing, all right? So again, when I first played it, I was like, this is just, this is not that good. This is kind of lame. But you know what? Yesterday, I got into more levels. I tried some different stages of it, some different rooms and stuff. And I'm actually liking this. I don't like the movement, though. I think the movement, Like the one major complaint I have with Smash Hit Plunder is the movement system is really weird. It's kind of like this teleporting thing where you take your two move controllers and you place your feet on the ground, and if you place both of your feet on the ground and you hit the move button, then you start walking to where that area is. So it's kind of like this teleport thing where, like, you know, when you teleport somewhere and then you start walking there, that's basically what their movement system is. But it's kind of janky in that I don't feel like it works the same way every time. Like, it's a little bit janky as far as that goes. So that was a little bit of a concern for me. And it's a fun game. You know, and if I found out that this was like £7, I probably would actually recommend this to a lot of people. But £25, man, I mean, good luck, Triangular Pixels. I wish them well, because I really want them to do well and then get back over to making a freaking room scale game. That's really because I mean, now we have all these wireless headsets and stuff. You got the Oculus Quest, which is kind of room scale on a freaking ice cream cone, right? I mean, that's room scale to go. So a company like Triangular Pixels that seem to be breaking barriers in room scale design, I want them to get back to that. It's a cool game. And the one thing I will say, like, on the positive note for Smash Hit Plunder, I'm kind of all over the map with Smash Hit Plunder, but one of the positives of it is it really does have this kind of Super Nintendo or even 8-bit kind of aesthetic going on. So if you're really nostalgic for the Super Nintendo days and for the old Nintendo Entertainment System days, and if, like, when you played Compound, it was like the greatest thing ever because of that retro vibe you got it, well, you do get a retro vibe from the music and the graphics and, like, sound effects and stuff like that. There is a lot of that with Smash Hit Plunder. That is pretty cool. Crunchy says, those graphics, though. But, dude, it's designed specifically to be extremely retro. It's designed to appeal to the Super Nintendo owner in you, Crunchy. Did you have a Super Nintendo back in the days? Did you have an old 8-bit Nintendo back in the days? Because that's what these graphics are designed for. That's what the style is. And there's a lot of different kinds of modes and multiplayer and all of that, but the multiplayer is people in your actual house on DualShock 4 controllers. And I'd probably have to give some money to my kids to force them to play with me. Bullet Ape says, this looks as good as that bar fight game. A lot of people talking major smack in chat about Smash Hit Plunder. Paradise Decay says, before I had the PSVR, the dev, it went too fast. The dev was raving about the game or something like that. Let me see if I can pop out chat. Okay, let's see. What was Paradise saying here? Man, it went so fast. I lost it. Oh, well, never mind. But yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that horrible. I just think the price is, like, way out of control. Like, I don't think the price is right there. So I'm going to have to say this is not a recommend for me. And it's mostly not a recommend based on the price. I guess I would have to say that. So that is Smash Hit Plunder, which does come out tomorrow. Other than that, I have absolutely nada. I have no story planned. So let me go ahead and put on a rando trailer, and then we can go ahead and check Upload VR. We can do some of that, see what's going on out there. I'll put on the Be the Hero trailer. Let's go ahead and do that. Be the Hero. And 3DFX. Dude, I remember the 3DFX. Fluke Rogi says, reminds me of 3DFX cards where the lighting always seemed to be overblown red, green, and blue. I loved the 3DFX era. Do you guys remember when we were talking about Jedi Knight, Dark Forces, Jedi Knight, or Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight? Remember when we were talking about the Star Wars games and all that? That's when I had a 3DFX card. And I had some incredible 3DFX games. That's when I was like a really hardcore PC gamer for a short period of time. Okay, so what I can do here is we can take a look at Upload VR. Let's just see what, like, the major news stories are on VR's #1 gaming website at this current point in time. It would be Upload VR. Let's give props where props are due. And so, giveaway, you can win a physical copy of Apex Construct. Yes, there is a physical version of Apex Construct. I was a fan of Apex Construct, but it seems like a lot of other people just didn't get that into it. Like they thought it was mediocre. I liked Apex Construct quite a bit. Did I finish it? No, I got 90% of the way, literally like 90% of the way through. I'm basically at the very end of Apex Construct and haven't put it to bed. Very similar to Pixel Ripped 1989, actually, basically on the final boss, pretty much. Okay, here's another story. Ryan Gosling's First Man is getting a VR experience. I don't know anything about First Man. Oh, okay, it's a Neil Armstrong biopic from the La La Land director. Okay, it's called First Man. That's getting a VR experience. It makes sense, you know, Neil Armstrong landing on the moon. That would be a logical VR kind of experience. Twin Peaks VR is coming to a headset near you. This is being brought to us by, I believe, Collider Games is a developer of this. Yeah, Collider Games. And you know what? I looked for a trailer for this Twin Peaks VR. I thought I'd be showing you guys a trailer for it, right? I mean, typically, if you announce a big new VR game, like, shouldn't you have a trailer? Couldn't find any trailer whatsoever for Twin Peaks VR. So we have an announcement, but we do not have a trailer. And then The Walking Dead, Our World will get new... The Walking Dead, Our World... Oh, The Walking Dead, Our World will get new missions after each Season 9 episode. Okay, don't know too much about... I'm a Walking Dead fan, but I haven't seen the most recent season. Like one of the more newer seasons finally just came to Netflix, and my son is binge watching the shit out of that. And I'm trying to tell him, bro, don't watch episode after episode after episode. You're ruining it for you. Watch one episode and let it marinate. But they don't listen. My wife doesn't listen either. She watches Ozark, and she's like blown through seasons of Ozark already in record time. And these people just don't listen. Okay, Valve improves Steam VR spectator mode, adds a new home environment. That's kind of cool. And then PSVR mascots Astro and Quill meet up in adorable bundle video. Aw, that's so cute. That does sound adorable. I got to find that bundle. I mean, these are two of the cutest freaking... I mean, these characters, Astrobot and Quill, are so freaking adorable and cute. They should have like a major brawl, like a major battle, because which one is cuter than the other? Because they're both incredibly cute. I mean, just ridiculously cute. Okay, so let's go back to chat. Let's see what people are talking about here. And Tom Lloyd says, we need full-length blockbuster movies to come out in VR in high def. Well, Tom Lloyd, you know what we need? We need Tequila Works, who made The Invisible Hours. That's the first legitimate VR movie, Tom Lloyd. And so we need other people to see what Tequila Works did with The Invisible Hours. Now, they did it with cartoons. They did it with a game engine. And that's probably how you're going to have to do this. Who's the guy that directed District 9 and Elysium and what was that robot movie? Neil Blomkamp, right? Neil Blomkamp or something like that. He's like a South African dude, director. One of my favorite directors ever. District 9, easily one of my favorite movies ever. And Chappie, he did that movie Chappie. Chappie is underrated, man. I know Chappie gets really, really dumb at the very, 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 very end of Chappie, but I liked Chappie. I thought Chappie was pretty good. District 9 was absolutely outstanding. Elysium was mediocre at best. But dude, this guy, Neil Blomkamp, the last thing that I heard is he was going to try to make some kind of VR movie that was running in the Unity game engine. And I think that's what people are going to have to do. They got to start creating movies literally in game engines and then let you have the ability to view that movie from every possible angle and have simultaneous stories that are happening at the same time in different locations, and you can choose to bounce to different locations and all of that. That's what people need to do. They need to take a look at the Invisible Hours VR. That is the formula. Just keep making the Invisible Hours VR, but make it look better. It's going to be a long, long, long time before we have live action that can do what the Invisible VR is doing. I don't know how long that's going to take. Tom Lloyd says, Invisible Hours? Tequila what? Tequila Works is the developer of the Invisible Hours. Check that out. That's the first VR movie, like straight up. If you didn't know that, that is the first VR movie. And Chris Cox says, I loved Chappie. It got bad reviews, but I thought it was great. And Phil Yarn says, Chappie ruled. Dude, Chappie was hella good. Bullet Ape says, I think Chappie is now in Stormlands. Chappie the game. Yeah, it did remind me of Chappie watching Stormlands. The trailer, the initial trailer for Stormlands did remind me of Chappie. And Chappie is quite underrated. Chris Cox says he is directing the next RoboCop film. I'm down for my boy Neil Blomkamp. I want to see what he's doing. But I thought he was doing some kind of Unity thing as well. And I'm kind of more interested in that because I think that's how you do a VR movie. But yeah, we kind of got off on a tangent there. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about until we started talking about Chappie. So let me go ahead and throw on a completely different trailer. We don't want to be on Be the Hero too damn long. I'll throw on a nice in-space trailer. And you know, these guys, Orange Bridge Studios, you know how we're talking about the Oculus Quest and what games are going to come to the Oculus Quest? I really think Orange Bridge Studios, because End Space on the Oculus Go works really, really well. So I really hope these guys, Orange Bridge Studios, Oculus, Jason Rubin, if you guys are listening, make absolutely sure that Orange Bridge Studios has some Oculus Quest development kits, because these guys have done very well with some low-level Snapdragons in really tapping that 821 Snapdragon. So what are they going to be able to do with an 835? And you know, one of the stories we did get yesterday, this is actually an actual story here. Let me bounce over to the web browser window. The Oculus Quest is going to have an active cooling from an internal fan. I believe this is the first ever HMD that has a freaking fan with active cooling inside it. I don't believe there's any headset that has an active fan. And so the idea here is that the 835 is going to be able to run at much higher frame rates than what would normally happen, because it's going to have that cooling. So they're basically going to be overclocking the living crap out of that 835. And so that's good news. And a company like Orange Bridge Studios that did so well with In-Space, and then Pixel Toys. Pixel Toys did absolutely a magnificent job with Drop Dead on the Go, Drop Dead on Gear VR, Drop Dead on the Rift. I mean, you play the Go version of Drop Dead, and if you blink, you think you're in the Oculus Rift version. There's really no difference whatsoever. I'd love to see Pixel Toys also get some development kits for the Oculus Quest. So hopefully Pixel Toys, hopefully Orange Bridge, hopefully they're both working on that. Because honestly, you know what I think Oculus should do? This is kind of a little side rant right here. Oculus, instead of going to all these PC developers and trying to get them to downport their stuff to Quest and to work on Snapdragons they've never worked on in their entire life, instead of doing that, find people that have worked on the Snapdragon 821 and the 835, and they've done some incredible stuff. You know, they've done some incredible stuff with these mobile processors. Get those guys to bang out a Quest game, because I think trying to get a high-end PC developer to try to go downwards, I think that's harder. I think find some mobile guys that are doing some major things, sign them up. That's my personal take on that. And Bullet Ape says, that guy that starred in District 9 was ace. And he's pretty much, isn't he in like every movie, every Neil Blomkamp movie for the most part, the guy that was in District 9? Dude, District 9 was such a fantastic movie. I mean, District 9 is probably in my top 20 best movies ever, all time period. So big, huge fan for District 9. Let's see. Tom Lloyd says the Oculus Quest is more surprising than Magic Leap. It's delivering better than I've expected, especially with the liquid cooling you mentioned. No, I don't believe it has liquid cooling. It has active cooling, not liquid cooling. Actually putting liquid cooling inside a headset, now that would be an incredible accomplishment. Paradise Decay says, and the chip in the Oculus Quest has been optimized for the VR experience. Yeah, we did hear about Sean Liu. You know, the in stack, man, the in stack. This stack of pancakes, this stack of blueberry pancakes. Have you noticed that's like the new thing? It's like our in stack from beginning to end, the in stack has been completely re-optimized. That's like the, that's the quote of the day is our in stack has been so optimized. And I don't know, I don't buy into this type of shit about shit being optimized for this great experience. It's a Snapdragon 835. You can put ice cubes in there. It's not going to matter. It's still a Snapdragon 835. It still has some very serious limitations, but we're excited to see what Ninja Theory and all these other people do to try to like squeeze the most out of that 835. But I don't know if I really believe what Sean Liu is trying to sell me with how they worked so closely with Qualcomm to try to dial that Snapdragon in. I mean, I hope they did. I really hope they did. Cyan VR says, I want pancakes now. Dude, head over to Mimi's Cafe. Cyan, I don't remember if you're in the UK or the US, but if you're in the USA, Mimi's Cafe, baby. They got some absolutely wonderful pancakes. The pancakes at Mimi's Cafe, you eat those pancakes and they just melt in your mouth, but you're basically having dessert. You're pretty much having dessert, so I wouldn't go down that road. Okay, let's see here. So, yeah, we were covering news and then I got distracted. It's called Tangent Thursday, I guess. This is Tangent Thursday, pretty much. Let me switch back over to web browser with small video window. So Cyberpunk 2077, no plans for VR support. I thought we heard about this about 28 times already, so not sure why that is back in the news. But yeah, the Oculus Quest to have active cooling, and PSVR Dreams is going to have PSVR support coming day one, and I think it's also kind of been revealed that Dreams is a January 2019 game. I would like to grab the cute little video here. This is like a Twitter video, and I don't want to download the Twitter video right now because that'll screw up everything. So we won't worry about that, but that does sound super cool. I do want to see that cute little video. Okay, what else can we look at here? Well, we can go to Arthan's VR and see what kind of stories they have going on over here. Hatsune Miku VR is getting a new DLC song pack and patch. Sariento VR is introducing a hot magma chamber stage. Twin Peaks VR, we've heard about this announcement, and surprisingly, no trailer of any kind that I can find from Collider Games. I've searched all over for a trailer, can't find one. But you can go to their website. They do have the announcement right here. Twin Peaks VR, going to be kind of interesting there. Not sure when this is coming. This could be quite a ways off into the distance as far as Twin Peaks VR. Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams, this is supposed to be an October release, possibly. We just don't know when in October, but apparently they're going to debut. They're going to have a public appearance at Milan Game Week in, I guess, Italy, right? So this will be taking place from October 5th to whenever. So I'd love to check out Milan. I'd love to bounce over there. Maybe MRTV, maybe Sweeviver. You know, Switzerland, not that far from Italy, so maybe Sweeviver will bounce over to Milan Game Week and give us a live report about Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams. So, Swee, you better get your butt over there. Lost KVR Forgotten Second Story. We got some new screenshots and stuff. So there's that. I don't know too much about that. And In Death, I need to get back into In Death and see if I can see some of what the update did and some of the stuff that's going on over there. So I'm going to head back over to chat. Paradise Decay says, if you guys like sci-fi horror, I would recommend A Quiet Place. But isn't there something about the ending of A Quiet Place? Let me write that down. I got to take notes now because I forget all these good things people say in chat. A Quiet Place movie, but the ending sucks. But the ending sucks. I'm pretty sure I've heard people talk about the ending really sucks, but I do need to check out that movie. And Paradise Decay says that World War II bomber experience is out now on Steam, the guys who did Apollo and Titanic. Okay, that's pretty cool. Chris Cox says, I want to try that. The sound is from a live recording, so that does sound pretty good. And Tom Lloyd says, if Quest gets a simple game like Call of Duty Zombies, that would be epic because VR elevates scary stuff, and COD Zombies has always kept my heart beating on Xbox, so VR seems like a simple port, except for the fact that there's so many people that can't stand horror, Tom Lloyd. It seems like I would say maybe 30% of everybody out there is just not going to play a VR horror game. And that really, really sucks for companies like Spectre Vision that came out with Transference, because you're taking 100% of the entire VR audience on PlayStation VR, on Steam, on Oculus Store. Then you're taking 30% of that audience and you're shipping them off to Siberia because they're not going to play Transference, and that limits your ability to sell the game. And that is unfortunate because we want more games like Transference. We want Transference to be successful, and I worry about stuff like that. Paradise Decay says, Anthony, if you don't see the crossbow in death when you boot it up, you might need to patch it or reinstall. Yeah, I don't remember a crossbow, so maybe I need to just delete the damn thing and reinstall it from scratch. That might be what I need to do. And then Chris Gold says, from Arthans on Twin Peaks, a demo will be available for attendees of the Festival of Disruption to be hosted by David Lynch and running October 13th through the 14th. So we will get some kind of little demo of Twin Peaks VR. Do you know, I have a confession to make. I've never seen Twin Peaks. I maybe have seen like 10 or 15 minutes of an episode of Twin Peaks, and that's it. For whatever reason, all of us have certain things that we just completely miss the boat on. Like some people have never seen Game of Thrones. Some people never watched Lost. You know, so there's certain shows that some people have never, ever been exposed to, and somehow they missed the boat. And for me, it was Twin Peaks. I've never seen anything Twin Peaks. So I know a lot of people are super, super into Twin Peaks, and they want to see this VR thing, but I've never, ever seen it, don't know anything about it. John Edwards says, I was just playing Transference this morning. Pretty good. Horror is better in VR. And you know, the thing about Transference, I talk a lot about it being a horror game. But the thing I gotta say is there's only like certain segments of it that go down the horror road. The rest of it is more of like kind of sci-fi, kind of Twilight Zone. It's more Twilight Zone than horror, but there are these short periods where it does go down horror. And then Greg's VR says Sherilyn Fenn was hot AF though in the original, and yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. They did have some very nice actresses in that TV show. So there is that. Okay, so one thing I do want to mention, let me put on a Apollo Creed trailer, or let me put on a Creed trailer, and it's not because I've been playing Creed, it's because my damn son won't stop playing Creed. So let me find a Creed Rise to Glory trailer. So let's throw this on here. Okay, so check this out, guys. So I got Creed, A Rise to Glory, and I played it for a couple of days, you know, when it first came out, and I like it a lot. It's a great game. It's a quality game. I don't have anything bad to say about it. The price is a bit high, but it's completely understandable because $10 of that price is going straight to MGM. It's going to MGM Interactive for the license, for the Creed license and all of that. So it's perfectly understandable, the price. And it's a good game. It's a great game, and it's kind of an exercise type of game, right? But I don't play it very much. But you know who plays it? My 15-year-old son. He can't stop playing this game. And so he keeps coming in here and he's like, boxing, dad, boxing. I want to play boxing, dad. And that's all he says. And then I'm like, oh man, okay, hold on. Let me fire it up for you. But the real problem is he's been jacking up my Rift headset. Okay, so the Rift here has a very thin little piece of foam, you know, that goes around it. And there's nothing worse than your kid borrowing your VR headset and playing a hell of a lot of Creed, and then you have to play something and you put your headset on and it's all freaking soaking wet. And you're like, oh, there's nothing worse. There's absolutely nothing worse. Okay, Tom Lloyd says, I hope you and Sebastian team up on occasion. He said he wants to. Okay, just tell Sebastian, shoot me an email, info@vrgamerankings.com, or tell him to send me a private message on Reddit. It's Anth, capital A-N-T-H 916 on Reddit. I have absolutely no problem coming on to like Sebastian's show as like a guest or something. If he wants to talk about like some current topics and stuff, that would be awesome. I'd have no problem with that. I'd be perfectly happy doing that. So absolutely, if Sebastian wants to do that, I'm down. I'm down to be on a lot of shows, like the virtual reality Oasis guys. Like if they ever need somebody like a fourth person to come on, like you don't have enough people, I'm down. I'm down to be on various shows, although, you know, I'll have my show after that or whatever, but I mostly use Skype to get on different shows, and I have no problem bouncing on other people's shows. So if anybody wants to do that, I'm game. If I have the time and availability, and if we do it on Skype or whatever, I'm perfectly game for that. So anybody out there that wants to have me on their show, I'm down for it. But yeah, so my kid has been soaking my goddamn headset. And so I was telling my wife about this. I was getting mad at him because I'm like, dude, you need to stop playing when you start getting really sweaty. That's, you know, right before you start to get really sweaty, you need to freaking take that headset off and give it a chance to recover. And he hasn't been doing that. And I've been complaining to my wife about it. I've been kind of, arguing with him and complaining about it. And my wife is like, but he's actually playing a VR game. You should encourage him to play a VR game. You should be happy that he's playing a VR game, blah, 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 blah. And so she's like, you know what we'll do is we'll get some of those sweat protector things. So we went on to Amazon and I ordered a package of these like VR cover things, like these disposable wipeable covers. And it was like $22, and I think you get 100 of them. Although this says it's a 50 pack, but maybe there's 2 of them in here. There might be 2 50 packs, or maybe I got screwed and I only got 50 of them. But it was like $22, yeah, face diapers. And I'm looking at these things and I'm like, these things are paper thin. This isn't going to soak up any sweat. VR maxi pads. Yeah, I don't think this is going to soak up much sweat at all. So he's going to probably have to put on like 3 of these things. But I don't know. I got to figure out something like, what do you do when somebody wants to use your VR headset and they freaking sweat like a river? Like, what are you supposed to do in that regard? And this is one of the things that I brought up with the Oculus Quest. And the Oculus Quest is kind of positioned as like this wonderful exercise VR thing. Like everybody thinks, oh yeah, I can do a lot of exercise in the Oculus Quest because it's just 2 controllers, it's just the headset, there's no wires, blah, 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 blah. But what I was saying the other day, remember I was talking about the yellow Walkman, the sports version of the Walkman that could like fall into a swimming pool and still work or whatever? They need to do that with the Oculus Quest. We need to come up, these VR headset manufacturers need to come up with some different kind of little pads that can snap on and they can soak up sweat, and you can have like 7 or 8 of them, and you just pop one on and it'll soak up most of the sweat, and then you throw them in your washer, your dishwasher or whatever, and it cleans them and whatever. Something has to happen. I got to figure this out. So anyway, yeah, John Edwards says, sweating in the headset is a big issue for me. It gets foggy and I can't see. And there's nothing worse than that. And Main Fan says, get him his own facial interface VR covers. That's probably what I want to do. How easy, though, is it to change facial interfaces? Can you change them real fast? Is it that easy to change them real fast? I haven't gotten into that. But that's probably what I'm going to need to do. I'm probably going to have to go down that road. But we will try these little face diapers, these little maxi pads. I don't think they're going to work very good, but I'll go ahead and give them a shot. I'll be able to review it for sure. Okay, so anyway, we've been going for a while here. We're already up to 11:52 now. It's amazing how time flies when you're talking about absolutely nothing. But I thought we might be able to take a quick check of Reddit real quick and see if there's any major stories popping on the various subreddits. So let's go ahead and check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to web browser. And let's see here. Excuse me. Oh, you know, this post, I really like this post right here. Everybody upvote this. I'm going to upvote this live. If Astrobot has shown me anything, it's that maybe we do need a tracked gamepad for Steam VR in the future. And yeah, I've harped on this very show. Don't you guys remember me talking about a tracked gamepad? That PSVR actually has one major advantage over Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. It's the only VR headset that has a legit tracked standard gamepad kind of a controller, and that works perfectly for stuff like Moss. It works perfectly for stuff like Pixel Ripped 1989. It works perfectly for stuff like Astrobot. And if those games, when those games come over to the Vive or they come over to the Oculus, they suffer a little bit. They suffer a little bit in the translation. And this guy here, he's on the Vive subreddit, and he's hoping that Steam makes a controller. But I think my bigger hope is Oculus. My hope is Oculus with their CV2. Because, see, Oculus is kind of treating this thing like it's a video game platform. And when they come out with CV2, if Oculus were to come out with a controller on day one that was an optional device that people could buy, but it was a very well-known, locked in stone, this is the Oculus tracked gamepad controller for use with the CV2, for use with Oculus Quest, or, you know, whatever. It could be used for multiple items, right? Somebody needs to come out with a standardized controller. And I don't know if that'll, I mean, I guess if Valve did it, it might pick up some steam. But I think Oculus, because they've kind of created this like closed system, it's the other reason that I believe Oculus should copy the AIM controller, and they should have some type of standardized gun controller, because I think it has a good chance of becoming kind of a standard. But yeah, that's what I really feel like. We really need to have tracked controllers. And people will say, like, this is the argument that you're going to get into. The argument is going to be, oh, you can play Pixel Ripped on the Oculus Rift with your touch controllers. It works just like it. You could pretend it's a gamepad. It's got a thumbstick here. It's got a thumbstick there. But there's something about it being snapped in half that doesn't work. You need that controller where it's connected, not where it's snapped in half. You lose something in the translation when your controller is snapped in half. The Oculus Touch, they chopped a controller in half and it's snapped in half, and I don't know. It doesn't quite work right. It doesn't quite have the same effect there. Okay, so let's see. The team from Standout VR just put out a teaser for their new game, and somebody was actually talking about this in chat. So let me see. I can probably grab this trailer. We can take a look at this before the end of today's episode. So let me go ahead and copy. Whoops, super loud. Let me go ahead and copy this and throw it into 4K video downloader. And I'll get that trailer up on here in just a second. So it's called War Dust. War Dust. So it's a battle royale game. Oh no, they're stepping out of the battle royale genre. Okay, for the first time they're getting out of battle royale. But yeah, I know somebody in chat is like works for the company that makes Standout, because somebody in chat is always talking about Standout. Is it Tom Lloyd? Somebody's always talking about Standout. Tom Lloyd says the Samsung Odyssey is positioned same as PSVR. Does your PSVR get sweaty as much as your Rift, Anthony? I haven't. The PSVR would get sweaty, and the PSVR gets foggy. Oh yeah, if you want to talk about foggy, the PSVR gets foggy even when I'm not doing anything active. I have a real problem with PSVR and fogging. What I'll do is I'll aim a fan. This is what I have to do with my PSVR. If it's a seated game, I put a fan kind of behind me, and I'll like sit down, I get my PSVR on, and then if it starts fogging up, I hit that little button. Yeah, Tom Lloyd. Tom Lloyd is the freaking Standout lover in chat. But I'll hit that little button. I slide the thing out. You know how PSVR has the ability to slide the headset out like that? And then I kind of let the fan hit it. You know, I kind of turn my head a little bit, get a little bit of that fan action in there, and then it defogs it, and I'm able to do it. And so I'm able to survive there. But let me see if I can go ahead and grab this trailer now. It is called War Something. Let's see if I got the trailer. Let's see. This is called War Dust. War Dust. Okay, yeah, I do have this trailer. So let's go ahead and... Oh, man, I got to resize it. Must be like 720p or something. Let me go ahead and get some sound here. War Dust, a new scale for VR. Join the alpha on Tuesday, October 27th. This is Raptor Lab. Yeah, you know, this looks pretty good. It does look pretty good. I mean, obviously, this kind of looks like a Battlefield kind of game. So it looks like you got soldiers running around on the ground. It looks like you can jump into like helicopters and F-15 Tomcats and stuff. And so... that's going to be kind of cool. I mean, it looks kind of cool. It's very ambitious. Will this really work? I'm looking at some of the graphics, and some of the graphics are kind of a bit chunky and a bit polygonal, which actually gives me hope that it will run relatively well in multiplayer, and it'll actually work relatively well. So I have a little bit of, like, look at that. Those polygons on that plane there, not a ton of polygons in my opinion, but that's fine. Maybe it'll run smoother and better. But yeah, this is War Dust. It is coming from Raptor Lab. Raptor Lab had, the first game that Raptor Lab had was called The Art of Fight. The Art of Fight. And nobody really knew anything about that game. That game kind of flew way under the radar. I've never actually played The Art of Fight. And then their next game, of course, was Standout VR. And Standout VR did get a lot of publicity. It's a well-known game. A lot of people swear by that game, especially Tom Lloyd. But a lot of people swear by Standout VR, and a lot of people have said, dude, why haven't you played Standout VR? You never talk about Standout VR. It's kind of like Twin Peaks. I missed it, and I'm not a multiplayer guy anyway, so it's like, F it. I missed it. I'm just going to let it go. So it's kind of one of those things. But this does look pretty sweet. It'll be interesting to see... you know, when you're bouncing from being a soldier on the ground to getting inside a tank, to getting into a helicopter, to getting into an F-15, like, what do? Do you have a chair right next to you? So, like, you're a soldier and you're standing up and you're, like, on the battlefield, and then you grab your chair and you sit down and you sit on your chair and you're in a tank. This is where we need the VR chair. Remember my idea for VR chair? A tracked VR chair. Like, when is that going to happen? We need a tracked VR chair that is on some kind of train track thing. And so it's completely out of your play space. And then while you're playing the game knows, okay, it's chair time. And then your chair goes zzz, and it moves into position and it's tracked. So you see it and then you sit down and now you're in the tank. Would work out great, right? And it wouldn't cost that much. We're talking maybe a couple $800. Not too bad for the VR chair. So when do we kickstart that? And Tom Lloyd says, VR chair won't let you lay down. What do you got to lay down for? If you're in the tank or you're in the plane, you're not really laying down, right? Now, you might want to lay down if you're going prone, but that's when you're standing up and the chair is out of the way for you. So you won't have to worry about that. But anyway, guys, I've been going for about an hour here, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and call it. This is what we call a shit show. This is where I have to just kind of go off the cuff, and sometimes it's kind of fun, but for some people, they really want to have like locked in stories. This is going to be really hard for me on the timestamps because I bounced from so many different thought processes and went on so many different little mini rants that doing timestamps for this episode is going to be a pain in the ass, but I'm going to have to do it. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to have to get ready and do a 20-minute version of this and then do my timestamps and all of that, of course. But let me go ahead and throw on my outro trailer. And, of course, I will have to resize it. Thank you, War Dust Bowl, or whatever you're called, for your 720p video that ruined everything for me. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, smash the like button, you know, break your computer, hit the like button, tell a million of your favorite homies, do a lot of different things, and spread the word, spread the good cheer. That's going to do it for today, but I will be back. Tomorrow is Friday, guys, October 5th. Friday, a nice Friday, so looking forward to that. So I will be back around 11 a.m. on Friday. I will see you guys then. Take it easy and make sure to enjoy some pancakes. All right, I'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Later.